This next shot I'm working on is a two-handed combo attack. In other words, several attack animations strung together at once. And in this scenario, these are the things that I'm thinking about. I'm always striving to show personality in the character. I'm always striving for strong poses. And I'm always striving for responsiveness to the player. Because if the player doesn't feel good about the game that he's playing, about pressing the button and having an immediate reaction, then I've failed. I hesitate to even call this a blocking pass, as it needs a lot of poses really to make it clear, and also the timing is super rough right now at this time. So I guess I'll call this a pose out. And basically it's helping me to figure out the mechanics as I move through the animation. So I mean, I shot reference for this. I basically shot myself kind of walking through the motions. I can't be as athletic as this guy is, but really I was striving to see, particularly on this way he spins around, where the feet are placed, where the weight shifts when he turns, and that sort of thing. So that's basically what I've got going here so far. So in my mind, there are a number of things that are critical to making this work well. Number one being, this animation has to begin and it has to end in the combat idle pose. So it begins in the pose and it ends in that same pose. And that's for blending purposes, so that we can go in and out of the idle, we can go from a combo attack to a light attack to a heavy attack, etc. It's basically for blending and looping purposes. Number two, this animation should move forward for each attack, which it does. And if I bring this over to the side and I bring up the graph editor, translate Z is our left to right motion in this case. And so you can see that here it backs up because he's going into his anticipation, but from there it's always moving in a forward direction until the very end, where he drops back into the combat idle pose. And the third thing that I find super important is each attack needs to be stronger or have more impact than the attack before it. So as it stands, I think my biggest problem at this point is the second attack really doesn't feel as strong as that first attack does. You know, this first attack's got this really nice pose right here as he's swinging through. Really dynamic. And he comes through and it's kind of like a baseball swing. And then the second pose is like, I'll just bring it over here. So I think I need to do something about this attack, and particularly this pose here on frame 48. So what are the things we can do to help this out? The first thing that I can think of is, do a little draw over here, is on this previous pose, probably this axe needs to be further back. And maybe I can have him crouch down a little bit lower. Okay, another thing is maybe we have this axe stay low like it is, and it comes into kind of a medium height here. But maybe on this pose, maybe I bring this axe up even further, so that it then has to really drop down on that next frame, really showing the weight of that axe. Bam. And then I think another thing that I need to work on is this pose is, I'm not crazy about this pose. I mean, one thing I'd like to do is do something similar to what I have here on the first strike. But the problem is he's got both his feet on the ground, gives him a really strong foundation. As he's coming back around, this foot is in the air. So I think something that will help this is, first off, bringing him down a little bit. I think the level of the axe is good. I think this is going to be a good contact point for the hit. But I think maybe if we bring the back, the curve of the spine back a little bit further, so he's kind of really bringing into it. I feel this character isn't like super acrobatic and agile. He's big and he's very, very strong. So because of that, I've kind of deliberately put in, I guess, a pause between the attacks. Like, I don't have the attacks going smoothly right from one into the other. I think that would show off a different kind of attack style. This guy, I wanted him to be very deliberate in his approach, not super fluid. So we'll see how that works as I move along. And as I move along, what are my next steps? My next steps are, I got to fix that second attack. It needs to be more impactful than the first attack. And I need to fill in more poses and round out this blocking and get a basic timing working. And I guess that's it for now. Thank you for watching.